As an 8-year veteran at the National Veterans Wheelchair Games, James Trzop has tried his hand at a number of sports, including weightlifting, air rifle, and power soccer. But James has clearly become most passionate about the hard-hitting sport of rugby.
James, 9 years coming to the games now. What branch were you in?
Marine Corps.
Ah, nice. And were you hurt when you were in the Marines?
Yeah, I was injured in a diving accident shortly after my training.
Which is not uncommon. So many cervical injuries happen from diving. I bet you if you talk to the bulk of people, that's the way it happened. I'm just kind of curious, what happened to you?
Yeah, it was a diving accident, and now I'm a C6, C7 quadriplegic. And yeah, cervical injury. Don't have use of my hands, and functions about down below my, stops below my chest.
James, you look like you're a pretty fit guy, like you take pretty good care of yourself. When you first got hurt, were you made aware initially of what kind of sporting activities were available to you? Did you have a therapist or anyone in particular who was close to you who, said, hey, you might want to try out the vet games or you might want to try out sports? How did that happen?
Yeah, so about somewhere in my first year of injury, I was up at the Cleveland VA, and the therapist talked to me about it. And next year I got going. My first year was at Dallas, so the recreational therapist got me into it.
So were you, sometimes when people are put into injury situations, they're usually apprehensive about trying new things. They just, they just want to hang back. But were you excited about the opportunities?
I was pretty excited. I was real young. I was 19, so I was excited to get out there and get back after it and I always played sports my whole life, so I was excited to get back after it.
What kind of sports were you doing before you were hurt?
I played football and did track in high school.
Okay, so then how did you, I know you're trying a number of different sports. I heard you talking about archery and we just watched you playing rugby. What is it about rugby that drew you in? Is it the hitting? Is it?
Yeah, it was the contact to start. When I heard it was the first full contact sport for wheelchairs, that got me excited. And then I went out and I tried out with the Akron Rhinos, is who I play with through the season. And just making friends with all the guys, getting out there, getting after it. It's a lot of fun, getting a good workout in.
I don't think people really understand like the issue with like dexterity with your hands and what it's like to be able to grip a ball. Who taught you about all the different things that go into the gloves and the sticky stuff and the tape and all the things that go into being able to be a ball handler?
Well, I got a couple older guys on my team that are very well experienced, and they help that's one of the good things. You find a mentor when you're on a team, and you get to learn a lot from the guys that have been doing it for 20 years. And they'll help walk you through like what the best gloves are, how to tape up, and how to throw a ball, even pick them up from the ground, So that's the best.
What were the significant challenges for you when you first started playing the sport?
Oh, I was so out of shape because I was in a power chair before I got into rugby. And so it was difficult to get into shape for that and push the chair. And then throwing the ball, I've improved a lot over the last 7, 8 years.
If you were looking at other sports, I heard you talking a little bit about archery and some of the complexities with that. Once again, with your hand dexterity, how is it that you release an arrow? I heard you guys talking about like certain, mouth release apparatus.
Yeah, so the way I do it, because I don't have any hand function, I take a strap and strap my hand to the bow. And then for the release, I use a mouth release. It's just a leather guard. I bite onto it, take it out, and release. And that's how I shoot archery. Now, I've only done it a handful of times so far. I'm just learning, real new to that, so.
When you look back at the early hospital day experiences and you're getting into rehab and you're learning what it is all about, were there any particular people at your rehab that pushed you forward?
Oh yeah, I had a lot of the therapists up at the VA and nurses. Jeremy, Bobby were my physical and occupational therapists when I was first injured. Helped me out a lot, got me going, helped me learn how to feed myself again, so.
Yeah, you're kind of starting from a real scratch point. I mean, it's really foundational, kind of ground level, but you build yourself up one little component at a time. And now here you are, you're at the vet games. You know, you're meeting more friends and doing more things. What is it about coming to the games that I mean, you've been coming 9 years now.
Yeah.
What is it about the games?
Well, I don't mean to steal the other guys, but it is a big family reunion, you know? Getting to see everybody again every year, familiar faces, you get to build friendships and everything. Get out here, and it's real exciting to see everybody again. And
Would you say the games and the camaraderie are as much, you know, mentally helpful as it is physically helpful?
I think it's more mental than anything, because you get to get out here and you get to see some guys, and especially when you're a new injury, you get to see where the potential is, where you can go with that, especially with the level of function. And if you're a quad, you know, when you're first injured, you really got to learn how to, like, you know, it's learning to feed yourself, do all that again. And when you see guys doing things above and beyond where you ever thought were possible, it's very inspiring.
Have you ever seen, well, you know, I'm sure you have, you know, now that they're broadcasting the Paralympics a little bit more on television, have you ever sat down and watched some of the rugby matches where you're seeing, like, you know, the best from countries around the world hammering each other and playing hard?
I have, yeah. So on YouTube, they'll stream some of them. I watch some of them on there.
Would you ever want to get to that level if you could?
I would love to, but I'm not practicing for that right now. I'm in college, so.
Oh, what's your major?
Engineering.
Nice.
Yeah, so just starting that this semester and looking forward to that.
In some way, do you think that there's a connection between the confidence that you gained through sport that got you back into going to school and reaching for an education?
Oh yeah, definitely. It gives, especially like just being out on your own by yourself. You just get physically better. Yeah, so going to college, it's given me that motivation to do that and get after it. And
what's it like out there on the campuses these days? Are you finding a lot of support, you know, from like disabled student services? And
oh yeah, the ADA at the schools do real good, all that. The teachers are good. Students are very welcoming and accepting too and everything.